immediately, when you come into the knowledge of the truth of the Most High, you already have, most of you already have a masculine nature about you just from your upbringing. So you have to learn to submit. You have to learn to be tender, to be gentle, to be understanding of your sister, one of another. And we wouldn't portray the jealousies, the envies, the all of the traits that are not feminine, the traits that actually belong to men, the strong traits. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but you actually possess those things, and you don't even realize that you have it because society has told you that you're woman, you're strong. I'm every woman. All of these things empowered women to be everything that they should not be. So you have to unlearn all of that. If you think about the works of the flesh in the scriptures, in Galatians 5, the works of the flesh, I think it's, start with verse 19. And the works of the flesh are these: fornication, impurity, licentiousness, idolatry, sorcery, enmities. Now I'm reading from the New Revised Standard Version, okay? Strife, jealousy, anger, quarrels, dissensions, factions, envy, drunkenness, carousing, and such alike these. Okay, if you think about all of these things, and I'm not saying this is how men act, but I'm saying that these are not feminine traits that should even be once named among us. There should not be a daughter of Zion that's involved in drunkenness or quarrels or dissensions. Not saying that men should be either, but men do have the ability to debate back and forth one another. So someone could say, well, that's quarreling or dissension or things like that. No, they're given that, but the word is telling them even how not to be. But this shouldn't even be once named among us as women. Ours should be the fruit of the Spirit, which is the love, the joy, the peace, the patience, the kindness, the generosity, the faithfulness, the self-control. That is a very big one, because the lack of self-control, lack of temperance, that's something that should not even be named among us. I'm not saying that it is a male characteristic, but men have the tendency to become angry, aggressive, especially when they need to defend their family. So that is a nature that is masculine, yes, because it's a protective nature, but we take it on as women, and we don't want to practice self-control. We don't want to practice temperance. We want to spout off the mouth. When we get upset, we want to be able to say whatever's on our mind because that's a release for me. No, that's not guarding your tongue, and you're judged for every word that comes out of your mouth. Ashley?
Very good example of that is to come into the faith, realize the role, put your husband in that place verbally, but not in your heart.
Right.
And say, I need you to make decisions. But you're coming at him like a man.
Yes.
I need you to make decisions for this home.
Yes.
I need you to instruct these children. And you're forcing and pushing him as a man would do in a fight.
Absolutely. And then you get upset, and then you want to play woman when he responds to you like the masculine man that you're acting like.
Well, the emotions.
Absolutely.
Witchcraft.
Manipulation. And he is naturally geared to resist the nature that he has. Because when men come into the faith and the knowledge of the truth and the knowledge of who they are, they take on that strength. So when you try to buck up against that nature that they have, they're going to reject you. And then you want to play woman and be hurt and take on offenses and take on victimization when you're getting pushed back at a nature that you're not even supposed to have. Ashley?
Absolutely. The law itself was given to man, okay? So when the law was given to man, the woman benefited.
Yes.
The law helped a man conquer the works of the flesh, binding him to a holy law to teach him behavior, teach him what to touch or what not to touch. He also, being the priest of his home, the priest of the nation, teachers amongst men, that's the established law that the Father gave the men to have us grow up as women into that culture, observing and following. The law was given to man. I used to think that, okay, these laws are for man and for woman. Yes, but given to man for woman. So it's an order.
Absolutely.
And so many good points about masculinity were brought up, because it's not, Mother, it's hard to put into English vocabulary. It's not just the character. Like you said, you even touched on personality. We're trying to make it clear tonight to say that the nature inside of you is supposed to be softer.
Yes.
It's supposed to say that I need you. It's built upon its dependency to say that I need you to shelter me. I need your direction. Tenderness. But in that need, you can manifest it as masculinity by demanding the man in your life to be that for you. Okay? So I hope we're making sense with that. Because does a man need a capable woman? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
He desires one. But he also needs to know that you need him. He's built and thrives off of that.
Yes.
If you don't need him, you place yourself as a man.
Right.
Go ahead.
It would be no different than a man's relationship with the Most High Yah. If a man is so strong and so bold that he doesn't need the Most High, he doesn't go to him in prayer. He doesn't dedicate himself to him. None of these things. So it stems down. So it's the same spirit that takes on any of us. We all have a role to play, and we all have the certain role that we've been given when we were born. So man has to submit himself to the Most High. Man has to become what the Father would have him to be. So that's the strength in all of these things. But a man can do the same thing as a woman can do by pulling back and being strong and trying to manipulate the Most High, but he won't allow that to be done. But I see exactly what you're saying. That's a very good point.
Yes, because the man is going to see you don't need him and pull back.
Absolutely.
Same
Absolutely.
thing. Mother Jennifer, so are we saying that we as women are in great need of our men? Is that what we're saying?
We are, Sister Ashley, and I wanted to say that in that need, you actually show your need through obedience. Just like, you show your need to the Most High by the way that you obey. So if you have a husband and he's giving you instruction and you're not following the instruction and you're just going on and you're following your own way, you're communicating to that man that you don't need him. And we do need men, we really do. And I know I say this a lot, that Elder Rufus has truly taught me how to be a wife, how to be a woman. And I know people think there's no way a man can teach a woman how to be a wife. But yes, he can, because he has his relationship with the Most High Yah. He is a bride to the Most High Yah. So that is the greatest way that I understand and learn that relationship and that obedience. So in the need, the way that we express our need is through our obedience. And I wanted to talk about, we're talking about the woman who is aggressive and who is loud, but there can be a silent aggression as well. A silent rebellion, a masculinity that is very silent. Pastor calls it a quiet riot. You're not at peace on the inside. And all these things, the wrath, the strife, the seditions, the heresies, they're in you, and they're communicating in your heart and in your mind. And you may not be speaking it outwardly out of your mouth, but your body language can speak it. So there are several ways where you can actually manifest these things. Sister Ashley?
Hallelujah, Mother.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Jennifer. Mother, we were going to touch on that too, so I'm glad you brought it up. Not to go one step further on that, if it's, you can express a certain nature about yourself. You can be the quiet riot and may not even, there's some that will be quiet out and rise up at home when they're with their husband alone. And then there are some that can even keep that in check, but they rise up in their heart and they don't say anything. They don't allow their facial expressions to change, but it's in your heart. And if you're hearing those things, if your husband gives you a command that you don't like or something, if you feel anything rise up in your spirit, even though you keep it under check, that's still that nature that you have to deal with. So we have to be very careful as women that we remove every aspect of not obeying the law in that, and we have to become a woman of the book.